my outdoor adventurers. My name is Matt Harvey. This is Deep Woods Survival and podcast. We will be talking about anything survival, camping, hiking, fishing, biking, um, pew pews. Can't say that because somebody already complained. Anyways, so this channel is going to cover everything outdoors, pretty much. Prepping too. We're going to be covering a lot of stuff. If you're into survival and you're into prepping or anything else like that, this is the channel for you. So what I'm going to try and do on this channel is teach not only different skills, but preview different items for camping, hiking, biking, hunting, and all that other stuff. And then we will also be basically going out into the field sometimes. This won't be a podcast, but basically we'll have videos on our YouTube channel that will pertain to hiking, biking, fishing, hunting, prepping, and all the stuff that goes with it, gear reviews and stuff. So one of the main things I get asked a lot about, because I do Bigfoot research and I'm out in the field, I'm out there camping in the middle of nowhere most of the time, off grid, and everybody asks me, okay, well, what are there other types of camping? Yes, there's lots of different types of camping. So today's subject is going to basically be about different types of camping. So there's hiking camping, where you take a backpack and you go out into the wilderness and you basically set up a tent and whatever else. I'll get back into that in a second. There's hunting camping, where you're going to hunt. There's pleasure camping, where maybe you and a bunch of friends decide to go out, set up a tent in a campground, and basically have a good time. Maybe spend a weekend out and outdoors, which is awesome. There's something called stealth camping, and stealth camping is where you camp where you're not supposed to, and you have to basically be camouflaged. You have to be super quiet, and you're basically being stealthy. You're basically avoiding trying to be seen or being captured or whatever. That's something that I'm going to work on with the Bigfoot research. I want to bring the stealth camping into the Bigfoot side of the research. Set up in an area I know they're in, and try and camouflage my tent and other things. I just got a new tent. I'll be reviewing that here shortly. But also, there's biking camping, where you load up your bike with a bunch of gear and you just start riding to wherever. Maybe you have a set destination. Maybe you're just going to ride till you see a location that looks good. Maybe you're going to ride out to a campground. Let's talk about it. Okay, so let's start at the beginning here. Hiking camping. Hiking camping usually involves people taking a bag, a good sized bag usually. Usually you basically are carrying everything you need with you for the time that you're going to be out camping, meaning food. You need a way to either get water or carry water with you, or both. You need some kind of shelter. A lot of people carry a hammock with a bug net usually, or they carry a small tent that they can easily set up, something to sleep on, some kind of sleeping pads, sleeping system. A lot of people, if you're doing the lightweight camping, you just basically have an air mattress. Some people carry foam pads. Some people carry, blow up air beds, just depending on how much weight you want to carry with you. Knowing me, I'd probably carry the air mattress that you can kind of blow some air into. And that's what I would probably be carrying, even though it's a little bit heavier, maybe 2 or 3 pounds instead of maybe ounces. I would still be carrying that. Something to cook with, some way to cook, either a camping stove or maybe a jet boil system or whatever. You need food for however many days you're going to be out there. Change of clothes. A lot of times people just pack socks and underwear or whatever, and they don't really pack everything. I normally pack at least one other pair of change of clothes, full change of clothes, and a couple 3 or 4 days worth of undergarments, because if I'm out there walking around in the hot heat, because we're in Texas and it does get humid out here, especially during the summer, you're dripping by the time you even walk outside. And by the time you walk a mile or 2 miles or 10 miles into the forest, you're soaked. So basically having a change of clothes to hop into, or maybe even something just to sleep in, while your clothes basically sit outside and dry, um, that's basically something I would do. So essentially, hiking, camping, you're basically carrying in everything that you're going to use on your back. A lot of people carry their own knives. Some people carry water bottles. It just depends on what you want to do. So let's get into hunting, camping. Hunting, camping is a lot like hiking, camping, but you're maybe not planning on staying more than a day, or maybe you're trying to make it to your location, possibly get whatever animal you're trying to collect, and then essentially packing it back out in that bag. You're using the bag to carry a deer, or you're using that bag to carry a hog, or the cut up remnants of those animals, or something else. Could be an elk, could be anything. So essentially, you have to have all the tools to prepare that. Once you have, taken the life of that animal, you need to be able to process it. So you have to have everything you would need, of course, water and stuff, and maybe a little bit of food, matches, some way to start a fire. Oh, that's what I didn't say in hiking, camping. You need some way to start a fire, possibly, if you're able to. Some areas out here now, especially in Texas now, there's burn bans everywhere because of the hot heat we've been having. But so that's hunting, camping. Basically, it just means that you're going out to hunt. You might have some kind of camouflage with you, or a ghillie suit, or something else, so you can hide. You might be carrying a deer stand, so you can get up high, so you have a advantage of being up high. Or maybe somehow you have some climbing tools, so you can get up into a tree or something else, basically sit there and wait for whatever you're trying to hunt. Anyways, there's pleasure camping. Pleasure camping means I load up the cooler. I load up with a giant tent, several sleeping bags, pillows, everything that normally I would have, tables, chairs, all that fun stuff. Of course, you need food and drinks, maybe a radio or a speaker now to play music, firewood. You're probably taking your own firewood with you, or you're picking up on the way. And then just anything else that you would want to have while you're out. Now, stealth camping is a little different. Stealth camping, a lot of these guys, they carry smaller backpacks, or they carry, they have a bike that they put their gear on, or they disguise it somewhere else, some other way. I'm not going to get into that too much, because I don't want to give the authorities any ideas of what these guys are doing, because number one, I think they're awesome. But number two, I don't want to be the guy that gave away so many secrets that these guys hate me. So in stealth camping, again, you're carrying your own food, your own water, probably a light tent or a hammock, or something else, maybe some kind of camouflage netting or a camouflage tarp, some way to conceal you, so that if you put it up when you're on the other side of the trees, like what's behind me, if you're watching this, or whatever, you can't see. They can't see you. And the whole idea is to be able to spend the night at a location that's close to where people are that you're not supposed to be at, be it a forested area, or behind a building, or whatever. I don't want to get into that too much, but yeah, that's something I really want to do. What I want to take that and I want to use that towards Bigfoot research. And here's what I'm thinking. and I don't need to get off track of survivalist or anything, but Bigfoot research has a lot to do with survival. When you're out there, um, most of the time I'm by myself. Usually I'm way away from miles away from anybody else. A lot of the times I have no cell phone service. So I'm on my own. I'm completely on my own. I've been doing this for 15 years now, basically hiking out to a location with my camera gear and my audio recorder and my trail cams and anything else I can carry in my bag. And then of course I have, my collection kit. But essentially I'm hiking out to these locations and I'm basically just setting up in the middle of the forest, and I'm not trying to conceal myself. I'm putting out apples and putting out other things to hopefully bring Bigfoots in. And if you're not a believer, I completely understand. I'll say the same thing I say on my paranormal channel. It doesn't matter if it's ghosts, Bigfoots, whatever the paranormal subject is. You have to have an encounter that you can say that couldn't be anything else but. Anyways, so yeah, that's something I want to try. I want to try and start concealing my location a little bit more, maybe putting a camo tarp over my tent or in front of my tent or around my tent, so that the Bigfoots maybe don't know that I'm there. They might be able, they may know I'm in the area. They can probably smell me or see me or feel me, but I don't want them to actually physically be able to see me because I want to be able to document them. I want them to come in as close as possible and document them without them being able to see me. All right, biking, camping. I've done this once. I got on a bike with, I didn't have all the fancy stuff that some of these guys and gals use. And if you're interested in biking, camping, you can basically, there's millions of YouTube videos on that, I'm sure. But essentially, I didn't have all the fancy bags and everything to put on the side of my bike. I think it was in my 20s when this happened. I was actually in really good health. I was way lighter than I am now. And so I was just being stubborn, and I decided to go camp out in the local, I don't know where I went, local forest when I lived in California. So I hiked on a bike, put I put a tent in there, and it wasn't a small tent. It was a heavy, big tent. I think it was a 3 or 4 person tent, and that tent probably weighed 7-8 pounds. It took up a lot of my bag. I had a sleeping, I don't even know if I had a sleeping bag. I think, no, I did have a sleeping bag. I had no mattress or any kind of sleeping pad. I didn't know about them back then. I don't think I had any food. I think I picked up, believe it or not, I think I picked up fast food on the way. I know you're going, anyways, this is, God, 20 some odd years ago, almost 30 years ago, probably. But anyways, so I just wanted to go out and see if I could do it. So I essentially set up a tent and slept out in the wilderness for the night. It wasn't like I was there all day. I was only there from just before dark, probably till morning. And then I got up and rode home. So it was only like 10 miles away. But biking, camping, essentially, like I said, everything that you need, you have to take with you. Usually people can, bring either a hammock or a tent, fire starting equipment, cooking equipment, and anything else like a sleeping pad, food, water, or a way to get water or filter water or both. So biking, camping is a little more difficult because you have to be able to balance. Either you have to have a big enough backpack to carry all that, or if you're lucky enough, or you're well off enough to have all those bags, those really cool bags that go all over your bike, or if you're just even pulling like a baby, I don't know what they could even call those, but the baby areas behind, the little trailers that they carry the kids in. Usually they can lay down or whatever in there. I've seen a lot of people actually use those. They put all their stuff in there and it takes all the weight off the bike. It just puts it behind you, but it's still in one of those trailers, and they hook it to the back of their bike and they take off. Now they have the invention of these electric bikes, which are honestly, I think these things are the coolest things ever. I mean, that's the awesome thing. when I was a kid, I had to pedal my butt off just to get up these hills. But imagine if I can just click on a little engine and all of a sudden I don't have to pedal at all. I'm just getting cruising up them these tall slopes. That would be awesome. So, anyways, all right. So that's the different types of camping. If you guys want to know more information or you want me to go into it in more detail, let me know. We can kind of do a hiking, camping, hunting, camping, pleasure camping, stealth camping, biking, camping podcast later. I'm hoping in the future to get some people that are interested in this subject or that do this, maybe interview them on the podcast and have them talk about their experiences out in the wilderness. What do they do well? What did they find out? Oh no, I don't have this. Or how did they get through not having certain things? What did they think they did well? What went well with their camping trips? And what would they recommend? And stuff like that. So if you're interested in coming on the show, please let me know. I'd be happy to have you. I am just starting out this podcast. Our other podcast, Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast, does really well. This is only the second show. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you're into survival or camping or hiking or biking or fishing or pew-pews for hunting, or if you're into prepping or anything like that, this channel will cover all that. Also, our YouTube channel will cover that as well. So stay tuned. We appreciate you guys listening and watching and subscribing and downloading. And we'll catch you soon.